Hi, this is Miss Pritzel at the Appleton West Library, and I am book talking Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold. Um, this is actually an adult book, but it was super popular when it first came out, which was a while ago. You would have been very young. But it is such an awesome book, and I would call it realistic fiction about grief and loss. But there are some people who would put it in paranormal because our main character, Susie Salmon, throughout this entire book, starting from the very beginning on, is up in heaven and kind of telling us the story of what happened to her, why is she there, because she was murdered, and follows her family and friends at school throughout, and even her killer throughout many, many years. And you see the impact that this loss and no resolution of what happened to Susie does to her family and friends and other people. So it is, when people ask me for a book that's going to make them cry, this is one of my top choices. So, like I said, Susie was 14 years old. And it's not a big secret because Susie tells us pretty early on she is murdered by a neighbor, and her body is not found, and there's no real evidence. Her dad has some suspicions, but we see the impact because her family is like, first there's the where's Susie, and then there was the hoping they'll find Susie, and then they're hoping they'll find Susie's body. And it just follows her family throughout the years, like how her parents' marriage starts to fracture because of this, how this impacts her sister and makes her sister live her life in a different way than she probably would have if this hadn't happened to Susie. And there's also a younger brother. I remember the sister more. But it also follows her killer and some other people, even the boy that Susie liked. It's so much better. This has stuck with me because while I've read books where it's presented from this kind of perspective, I've never read a whole book where this entire thing, and then to follow not just for this short period of time or even 1 year period of time, we're talking years and years and years of time that Susie is up in heaven, seeing how her death has impacted all the people, her family, and all the other people around her, including her killer. And there's just these weird, strange events that kind of all happen at the end, and it's kind of like you kind of hope for there's some justice in the world. But like I said, it's a really sad story. You're gonna cry because you hear Susie's story, you feel, even though you're not getting it from the family's point of view, you're feeling their family's pain because she sees their pain. And I don't know what, I like books that make me feel something. So this is definitely a book that made me like feel a lot. And I know other people enjoy these books. So if this is your kind of book, I think you would really, a book that, like I said, I can't call this paranormal because Susie's not a ghost. Susie's up in heaven. She's not a ghost following people around or anything like this. So I don't want to call it paranormal. It is, to me, realistic fiction because that's who it is going to appeal to. It's going to appeal to people who like realistic fiction. It's just that it's written from a different perspective than we would expect in a realistic fiction book about grief and loss. So if this is the kind of book you like, I think you will enjoy it. If it's not, come in and I will help you find something you like to read because there's so many different kinds of books to read. All right, have a fantastic day and keep on reading.